Welcome to Real 360. I'm your editor, Colin Costello. Our guest today has been referred to as the Latino Robert De Niro, and for good reason. Emmy winner, Golden Globe winner, Academy Award nominee. Edward James Olmos is all of that. He's a talented actor, writer, director, and for 20 years now has been running the Latino International Film Festival, or LALIFF, Los Angeles Latino International Film Festival. When we first met Edward, we saw him as Lieutenant Marty Castillo in Miami Vice. And then, of course, there was American Me, his roles in Blade Runner, his nominated roles in Stand and Deliver, and of course, who can forget him as Commander William Adama in the reboot of Battlestar Galactica? I can't. And currently, Edward is now playing the dad on Mayans MC, which just wrapped up its second season. We are so happy to introduce you to and have a conversation with Edward James Olmos. Start right on. Edward, hey, how's it going?
Really good, really good. I must tell you, I'm very, very happy that we're doing this, excited, because thank you for the interest too. I think that the Los Angeles Latino International Film Festival is a tremendous event that really is great for the community. I can't tell you. So this is our 20th anniversary. And I got to tell you, poor people just really appreciate it. And the films this year, whoa, really nice. And we're going to be online. So people can link into the festival. We're virtual. And we went virtual last year, and we're continuing it. So people can watch the films. And I think that they will really appreciate them. That's LALIFF, Los Angeles Latino International Film Festival, LALIFF.org.
No, that's great. Now, did I read also, I thought we did a story on it, and congratulations on 20th year. That's a phenomenal thing, first and foremost. Did I read it's also going to be a combination of some live events this year?
A lot of live events. There've always been live events. We not only do we put on a festival of film and that art form, but we also put a festival of animation.
Mm-hmm.
And we hold live seminars on animation. And we also run music. Music to Latino is one of the strongest influences we have. And so we have an entire new talent, and also really profound artists come and help us and perform. And they perform live, and they perform.
That's good.
It's so much fun. It's so much fun. And now, of course, since we're virtual, people can get the music and they'll see what exactly is going on there, and then maybe it'll drive them into coming here next year and joining us. Even though this year it's becoming a lot more understanding, because those that have been vaccinated, and I hope everybody that's listening to us will get vaccinated if they're not, because it'll help you and your family and the community. But
please get vaccinated.
Yeah, just get vaccinated.
Please.
But yeah, but but we also have an ability to the screenings that we're doing. You know, our opening night and our In the Heights screening, which is a tremendous film this year that we'll be presenting, and people will get to come to that. And if they have their card, I mean, if they've been vaccinated, they have all the vaccinations, that really helps everybody and helps you get into the theater. So it's really nice.
That'll be fantastic. But yeah, I want to just back up for a sec to last year and then dovetail a little bit into this year, which again, we're so excited about covering. You know, it was such a weird, wonky year last year. And like you said, a lot of the festivals went virtual. I mean, because the Latino community, especially in LA, is so strong, and then you take on top of that the film community, just you as an artist, and you know, you've been doing this at this point last year, 19 years. How did that just affect you? Like,
well, it at first, when we went down in March like everybody else, and our festival was going to be in June. So we had 2 months to figure out, what we were going to do
Mm.
because everything shut down. So immediately, the crew and everyone really just went, let's go virtual. And we did. We went virtual and we became the first international film festival in the world to go virtual immediately. And boy, thousands of people all over the country and around the world got to see the festival. And that was like an eye opener. It was
Yeah.
really like, whoa, okay, that's really interesting. I mean, we can only put 25 to 30,000 people in seats when they come to the theater, and here we have a lot more people and the eyes of a lot more people on the virtual scope. And of course, it's become now an integral part of the festival. So we will be showing live performances, and we will be showing in theater performances, and we will be doing, virtual, uh, a virtual, everything will be virtual too. So people will enjoy
No,
it.
no, it's going to be great. So the opening night film is Seventh and Union.
Seventh and Union.
Yeah. So just take me through a little bit of the thought process, because I know you're so also involved with it. What makes that the opening night film? Like, I have no doubt it's worthy of the opening night film, because every film there I've seen in past years have been great. So what just makes it special where you say this has to be the opening night film?
The quality of the story,
Hmm.
and the story is really profound. It deals with an ex-fighter who makes a bond between a disgruntled African American man whose life is unraveling alongside the fragile relationship with his daughter.
Hmm.
Two men join forces to win a fight that could very well save Raimundo, his wife, and the child. And that's the basis of the story. And it's that simple. And then and it's really well done. I mean, Anthony Nardolillo was the director, and he did a wonderful job. And it'll be a world premiere.
Yeah.
So it'll be the first time people will be able to see it. That also goes for In the Heights and our closing night film too.
Hmm.
It's so for me, it's a good choice. Seventh Avenue is a good choice.
Yeah, no, I really am looking forward to seeing that. Another film I'm looking forward to really seeing, because I I gotta admit, I've had a crush on her
Uh-oh.
since the Electric Company.
Who's that? Who's
And
that?
I'm like sitting there going, I don't know why I have a crush on her, but I'm feeling something. And yeah, I can't wait to see the Rita Moreno.
Oh my God. Yeah, Rita, she's an icon. And
Yeah,
she was the only representation we had at the Oscars this year. Did you know that, Colin?
yeah, yeah.
Only one. And of all the Latino artists in the world, and actors and directors and producers and everything under the sun, we have one person at the Oscars, and that was Rita Moreno. And I was so grateful it was her, because she deserved to bring to light the deficiency in what they call the multicultural event.
Well, yeah,
They just don't get it. I mean,
no.
it's turned into a situation that is very difficult, because they pitted the minorities against one another, which is really, really difficult in this country. That's what they're doing. And so one day the minorities are going to bond together. And that's going to be a very interesting time for the Caucasian culture, because basically it'll be a time when they're going to sit back and go, holy mackerel, there's more of them than there is of us.
Well,
Yes,
but that's what I was going to say. It's like, we're black, brown, Asian. We're not the minority. We're on the cusp of not being the minority. And, we're still dealing with institutions. That's why I think, something like LALIFF is so important, because we're still dealing with institutions that either like pigeonhole us, or, they're like, you're nominated. Okay, congrats on your nomination. Let's move on now. We've taken care of our diversity.
Yeah, I mean, and basically right now we're headed into a much stronger, diverse world. And
Yes. Yep.
that's why it's like, since this is the last stand for white supremacy, this is it. I mean, they're really forging it, and it's in full swing. It's wide open. the Ku Klux Klan does not wear hoods anymore, and
No,
they're wide open, and
wide
they're very
open.
proud of what they feel and how they think.
Well,
And
it's an
along with
entitlement. Just
now the entire apolitical party, the Republican Party, has gone towards amplifying that divisiveness. And
well, they've leaned into it,
oh
absolutely.
man,
And
oh
and
God,
what occurred to me a few months ago during the elections and everything, and I said this to my roommate, she's Latina, she also writes for us, Jessica. I said this to her. I said, if you really think about the timeline of like the earth and where we are and slavery and everything, if you take a Republican age, a Mitch McConnell, a Trump, you take their age, you round it up, they're like in their 70s, round it up to 100. Slavery only ended 50 or 60 years before that. They're really only a generation and a half removed really from slavery and from just a lot of mistreatment. And when you think about that, because 150, 160 years doesn't even register on a timeline,
right.
and it's just like, wow, they're not that far removed.
No, and that's the problem in our history, which people always get upset. The Not all of the people, not all, look at
Yeah,
all,
sure.
not all Caucasians are white
Oh, of course.
supremacists, and not all people are that are African American or Latino or Asian American, indigenous are good people.
Mhm.
It's like it's a mixture of understanding that life is complex and people are too, cultures as well.
Absolutely, all
But we're
cultures.
talking about a specific minority, a small
Right.
group that make it very difficult for us to really look at our history and really reflect on it and try to grow from it, because they keep on thinking, they're saying, why are you teaching our kids about these things that happened 400, 500 years ago that divided us then, and now you're bringing them back and you're making divisiveness out of them and beating us up with the truth. There you go.
Why? Because you have a Marjorie Taylor Greene chasing after AOC and like harassing her. That's why.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
you have a very
that's so
difficult.
different running into a neighborhood, a predominantly white neighborhood, and getting run out. My mom moved from Texas to and her grandma and my grandmother at the time, they moved from Texas to Philly, which was, really segregated where I grew up. And, my mom went house hunting for my grandmother alone. She was like 19 and she was chased down the street by a bunch of white men threatening her and they're going to rape her and
Oh God.
attack her if she doesn't get out of get off that block right now. And
Yeah, and
they're real. It's like,
yeah,
it's not a
that
joke.
behavior is ongoing today. Not maybe not as predominant as it was then, but I must say that it's still happening. And you know, the situation today is really at a point where we as the human body have to really come together as people and understand that there's only one race.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
only one race. And people are going to say, well, no, there's the African, there's Latino, there's Asian, there's Caucasian, there's indigenous. No, no. Those are cultures, ethnicities. You can call them whatever you want, but there's only one race.
100%.
That's the human race.
Right.
It connects all of us together. No matter if you're black, white, brown, yellow, or red, it doesn't matter. No matter if you're Catholic, Protestant, or Jew, it doesn't matter. What really matters is the fact that we are one species.
Exactly.
Granted, we've never been able to live together really well since the origins of humankind. We're all scared of each other. Fear was one of the biggest things. If you weren't born inside of that world of the tribe, then anybody from outside the tribe you had to be aware. You had to be
Exactly.
careful. You couldn't embrace them and bring them in. Some people started to do that, and sometimes they had to pay the price, and they got themselves hurt and their families hurt. But in essence, there's a reason, okay, that we climbed up the side of mountains. I went to outside of Madeira in Italy. There are caves on the side of these mountains that are just huge cliffs. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how high they are. 1,000 feet, maybe more.
Sure.
And there you could see them from the roadway. You could see they were a distance from the roadway. We weren't real close to them, but you could see the trail, like a little line alongside that went in all the way up,
Wow.
to a little hole. It looked little, okay, but then you realize that was a cave, and that's where the earlier generations of life, humans,
Yeah.
lived,
Yeah.
and they survived, and they had to be there because of the animals, because of the other people,
Sure.
and so that was their defense mechanism. That's what I'm trying to say. The
Mhm.
defense mechanisms have always been up, and so I understand discrimination. I understand prejudice. I really do, and it's a learned behavior. It's something you learn.
It is. It is.
You learn it from your surroundings, you learn it from your environment, you learn it from the people, your parents, and starting with your parents, and the people around you. So basically, if we were to teach, uh, again, non-discrimination,
Yeah.
prejudicisms, uh, you would be a lot better off. And if we could get to the point of saying to ourselves, okay, there's only one race, the human race, and we're all together in this. And like our thumbprints, we're all different, but we're all together in this.
And that's why I find like something like LALIFF really interesting, or going to a female-driven film festival or a Black-driven film festival, because
Yes.
you see stories, from the human race,
Mm-hmm.
from different cultures that you relate to because they're actually universal truths, but it's told from a cultural perspective, which is what makes it different and stand out. I'm really happy that I have a lot of Black and brown students in my class. And I have one writer, I'm mentoring her right now. She's telling a story about her family, how they migrated from Central America in the 90s to Tijuana. And
Oh,
just about that whole journey of this little boy he made this journey by himself, going from Central America to Tijuana, to the border.
great story. Great story.
Yeah,
I did a story like that with Robert M. Young, a great director, good friend of mine. I did many, many films with him. And we've worked together for over 45 years. And the first away, I met him in 75. And he was doing a film that he started to shoot in 76, a thing called Alambrista,
Mm,
Wire Jumper. And it's probably the most effective film dealing with the migration of a person looking for his father coming across the border, and coming from a place where they're a little ranch and they have a house there and they have their life and they're doing well, but haven't heard from the dad for a while. So the mother, she's kind of sad and concerned. And
mm,
so the young boy goes looking for his father. And it's that story and what happens to him. And Alambrista, they created the Camera d'Or, an award that they give at the Cannes Film Festival.
mhm.
They created it around that movie. It
Oh,
could
wow.
only be,
I know that.
you can only receive the award with your first dramatic film that you direct. And so he got it, and they gave it to him. They started that category with his film, and a beautiful film. But it's like the one you're talking about. It's something that you'd never see,
Yeah.
and when you see them, it enlightens you so much that you're very grateful. And that's what's great about the audiovisual event.
Yeah.
LALIFF has been able to bring um, films from the United States of America and from all over the world made by Latinos.
Mhm. Yeah.
Latinos from Germany, like German Latinos and Russian Latinos. It's
Which
amazing.
I laugh,
Brazilian
but you
Latinos.
don't think of that, and that's what makes it so
Yeah,
incredible.
exactly.
such a gathering.
Yeah. You're
And
like, I'm a Mexican American. Okay. Pardon?
and just stories you haven't seen,
Oh, yeah. That's the key. And we have one closing night is Women is Losers. And
Right, with
by,
Simone Liu, right?
yeah, and Simone Blue, yes. And Lisette Feliciano did Women as Losers. And I got to tell you, what a gorgeous little movie that is. And the, Something Blue is that you have you heard about that?
I just heard the title. I'm not aware of it yet.
Okay, it's done by it was made by Mariel Garcia Spooner,
Hmm.
and she's Latina from I guess from Panama, Colombia. That's where the movie takes place. She's from those regions, and it's a beautiful story, and it'll be our one of our closing night films also, and it'll go. You can buy tickets for virtual screenings to see these too. You can see these, and it's worth every cent that you spend.
Oh,
Because you're
sure.
not going to be able to see them in your neighborhood. Okay,
Right.
these are not films that are going to come out and be shown in theaters, or hopefully they'll be streamed if the impact of people watching these films on our presentation, the Latino International Film Festival, a nonprofit organization
Right.
that helps the community and been helping the community for over 22 years. If people, if the numbers come out, then people in the industry, because we're in Los Angeles and in Hollywood, they will take notice and say, wow, that film did really well at the Latino National Film Festival. Let's release it.
Exactly.
Bingo. And we have films like In the Heights, which is a brilliant piece of work that is going to sweep the Oscars next year. Like
Yeah, and
nothing.
that's the thing too that I think something like your festival really offers is that I was talking about this the other day. The except for streaming now and theatrically, the mid-range budgeted film has kind of disappeared. You
Yeah, I have one out right now that just came out. When you do this, it probably may still be. It depends on how many people go out to see it this weekend. But then there's not. They can only put. I think out of a 250 seat theater, they can fit 70 people in. That's what they're
yeah.
letting. It might change. It might change
Yeah, well,
because
we're supposed to open up even more so, I
yeah, I
think,
think so too.
week
But
or
this weekend, we're talking about uh, in the 13th, I guess, and 14th. What's the date today? Today's the 14th. So the 15th and 16th of May. And it opened on the 14th.
okay.
And it's called Walking with Herb.
Walking with Her.
Herb, Herb, Herb. And what a story this has been. And it's a film that really opens up the whole understanding of insecurity within oneself, especially as an elder. And,
Nice.
and during this 2021 and the COVID situation, we've lost a lot of our courage and our understanding of faith and our hope. We kind
Yeah.
of lost everything.
Yeah.
And so it talks about that. And it's with George Lopez. He
Oh,
plays he
right.
plays he plays a messenger from God, and it's uh,
Wow. That's
it's a stunning film, and you're gonna like it. I'm telling you right now,
I
you're
will
gonna
check it out.
appreciate it. It's really a kicker.
And it's
And
available theatrically. It's in theaters.
yeah, it's opening
Great.
in
Congrats.
AMC. If you go to walkingwithherb.com, then you'll be able to put in your zip code and anywhere in the country, and it'll tell you the closest theater that's showing it. There's, I guess, maybe right now, 250 to 300 theaters that are showing it in the country.
That's
That
better than
works.
last
Yeah,
May was.
it's better than what?
Better than where we were last May with
Oh my God, last May you couldn't even walk into a theater, and they shut down.
yeah.
Arc lights over here in Southern California.
That breaks my heart. There's also an arc light in Chicago, actually.
Went down too, right?
Yeah,
They're all shut down.
losing. I'm hoping somebody will buy at least the dome.
Yeah, me too. I hope that they buy the dome and that they keep these theaters open.
I saw you in the dome when I first moved to LA. They were screening a director's cut of Blade Runner.
Oh boy, I love that.
Yeah, and it was literally just, it would cut from one scene to green screen and harnesses, and then cut back to where the movie was again. Like Ridley had just put it together literally, like what scenes weren't finished, they were just unfinished, but they were a part of the film now. But yeah, I remember.
That's great.
Yeah, and that was in the dome, so that was like a really great experience.
So, man, I got to tell you, this is going to be one of the best film festivals we have had because of the quality of the films. And anybody can go to, www.LALIFF, LALIFF.org, and get the schedule and get all the information you want.
And we will put that up on the screen as well, the link and everything.
Great.
Yeah, and don't miss LALIFF, especially if you're in LA, but you can also screen it virtually. It goes from June 2nd to June 6th. We're super excited to talk about it and go review the films and screen the films and talk to whoever's there. Edward James Olmos, you're an icon. My roommate, who I said, who's also a writer, she refers to you, and it's not the first time, as the Latino Robert De Niro. So that's a huge thing coming.
That's a huge compliment. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Compliment. And we do have a comic book audience following as well. So I would be killed if I don't ask, if they ever rebooted Battlestar Galactica, would you start commandering it again?
In a heartbeat. If they could bring it into perspective as to the difference between the last time we performed it and where we are, so that it shows the passing of time, so that my character can have aged, because he's right now out in the middle I imagine I was in maybe Wyoming.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where I was, up in the mountains. We never pinpointed, but I was definitely in the mountains, and there was a lot of redwoods and stuff. And I was sitting on a rock, and right next to,
Yeah. Well, if they can reboot Picard, they can certainly reboot Adama.
We'll see what we can do, but
absolutely. Edward James Olmos, thank you so much. This is
a real honor and a real pleasure and a wonderful interview. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. See you at the festival.
Thank you so much.